Hello, all you hardcore boxing fans out there. How are you doing? Today I'm joined by Terry from London. How are you doing, Terry?
Mate, this is the 300th time we've done this. Not just joking. I'm still recovering from yesterday. Like, really am recovering from yesterday. I think, you know what it is, Russ? When you're in the sport and you see people's dreams get ruined because of judging incompetence or refs incompetence. And I'll give you an example, right? I had a lad boxing in the ABAs, right? So he's boxing in the ABA semi-final at super heavy. And he gets a cut, right? There's 30 seconds to go in the fight, Paul. He's winning comfortably. He gets a cut. The doctor says to the referee, how long to go in the fight? The referee's like, I can't tell you. The doctor's like, so how can I tell you if he's fit to carry on? And then the referee just goes, right, in that case, I'm just going to stop the fight. Ruined the kid's dream. Incompetence. Could have just told the time. There's nothing against that in the rules. And it doesn't matter where you go in the sport. Like, when you see kids' dreams dashed, like we did with Jack Cattrall yesterday, it's hard to take because you know how long that opportunity took to arise. Yeah. It's embarrassing for the sport. It's an absolute joke. I feel like I did. Remember when England scored against Germany in the 2010 World Cup and it wasn't given?
Yeah.
And like,
Lampard goal.
Yeah, and we nearly invaded Germany over that. That's how I feel about this. It's the biggest injustice. It's an embarrassment for boxing. And considering like last week was probably the highlight of boxing. It was the best of British boxing last week. And this week is back to the worst of British boxing. It's almost like the board just don't care. They don't care what the public think. They don't care how people feel. They don't even care how boxers feel.
Do you feel, Terry, that the board are slowly starting to shoot themselves in the foot because people are not wanting to be boxers, are they? I mean, have you seen the state of the undercard? This wouldn't have been a Sky undercard years ago, would it? If you take Taylor Cattrall off the undercard, the only other 10 fights on it, you've got 3 debuts, you've got 3 kids with 1 win on home side, and you've got guys with 1 win, 2 guys with 1 win each on away side. You 55 and 2 against 115, 58 and 5. Take that top fight off. These shows are no better than what Josh Wale, Dennis Hobson, and Steffi Bull are putting on in South Yorkshire, are they really? If you take the main event off, the rest of it's just the same, isn't it?
Well, because that's all that's left. The cupboard's bare, Russ. The cupboard is bare. Outside of that top level, the cupboard's bare. Like, we had to sit and watch Nick Campbell versus Jay McFarlane.
Oh, but the guy with green hair, fat as a pig Michelin man, 20 stone.
Like the fake Dave Allen.
Covered in jailhouse tats. You what?
He's like the fake Dave Allen.
He's like the fake, he's the Scottish version of the White Rhino, but not as cunning as the Rhino. But shocking. He took some punishment though, didn't he, for a lump?
I don't think he took any punishment. I genuinely don't think he was being hit that hard.
Oh yeah.
I think you could have stopped Jay McFarlane last night, Paul.
I fucking stop anybody, me kid. I'm like Ian John Lewis. I could stop a train at 125 mile an hour. It's like that. What's the answer then, Terry? I mean, Robert Smith's self-appointed. He doesn't answer to anybody. He's pretty pompous. What's going to be the answer now? There's a petition going around for Jack Cattrall to be crowned champion. It's already got 5,000 signatures on it already.
Set up another governing body.
Set up another governing body. I've been saying it for ages. We need new people to run the sport. They need somebody to come in and just rip it all. Because these old fuddy-duddies, they're self-appointed, like illegal. It's an illegal company in it or something. It was set up on it years ago on it, illegally or something. I don't know.
No. It's a company. But because it's a company and it doesn't have any statutory authority, anyone else can set up a governing body. You can set up a governing body if you want. The problem is, can you get enough money behind your governing body? Can you get enough broadcasters to endorse it? Can you get all the other sanctioning bodies to endorse and recognize you? That's going to be the question. And we know how corrupt boxing is. So that's an expensive operation, Russ. Because let's come back to why people are annoyed. All right.
I just think that so go on.
Yeah, you had 3 judges at ringside. 1, 2, 3 judges who all saw the same fight we did, maybe from different angles. Yes. Not one of those 3 came to the conclusion that Jack Catterall won more rounds than Josh Taylor. Not one of them.
Howard Foster had it a draw, didn't it? Before the point deductions, what did they have it, Terry?
Yeah, so Howard Foster would have had it 6 rounds each, 114, before the deductions. Ian John Lewis would have had it 8 rounds to 4, and Victor Loughlin would have had it 7 rounds to 5.
What are they watching?
Literally, it's like they got the bat signal, right? It's literally like someone was in the rafters and just said, right, now's time. You know what to do. Operation Josh is in effect. Because you get the feeling, Russ. So let's look at the wider context of this fight. It wasn't really a fight that Team Taylor wanted, but they had to do it because Jack Catterall kind of waived everything and said, right, as long as I get to fight him next, I don't mind you fight for undisputed. And then they jerked him around. Remember, because this fight was meant to have happened a while ago, and they jerked Catterall around, right? And so all of this should be telling you that they were never going to let the belt and the money separate. Because no disrespect to Jack Catterall, but I'm not traveling halfway around the world to watch Jack Catterall fight. Not in a million years. And they know that. So they were just like, he can't have those belts. There's no money in him.
Oh, the
now,
money.
Yeah, now Josh boxing as bad as he did made it hard to rig it, so to speak. But once he started doing better in the fight, it was easier to give those nip and tuck rounds to Josh Taylor and go, right, whew, we're going to get out of jail on this one, guys, but this is too close. Unlike Ian John Lewis, who was like, don't worry, guys, I wrote my scorecard before the fight. We're cool. But here's the solution, Russ, off the top of my head. Live scoring, right? You have a 2-minute delay between the live show and the broadcast. And the guys at home get to see round by round what each judge has scored it as. We get to see it. Let's have that transparency. So that way, we're not waiting around for 2, 3, 5, 10, 20 minutes at the end while they work out how to spin the scores. We get to see them up front.
Yeah, I see what you mean. How far does this set boxing back, though, this now?
It doesn't, because everyone's benefited from it. So we're not that far off Danny Jacobs getting robbed over here, right? And the guy who got the gift was the guy that got robbed against Callum Smith. So it's hard to... A lot of people in boxing can't complain about this because they've been the beneficiaries of either some suspect refereeing or some suspect judging. That's the problem. Yeah. It's because if you think about what the board are doing, Russ, they're just protecting the money guys in the sport, right? That's what they're doing. They're protecting the money guys in the sport. If Jack Catterall could bring in millions in revenue, he would have won that fight yesterday. He would have won comfortably. But he doesn't bring the money in. So that's what they do. And promoters love that because it means their business is stronger. The managers love that because it means that the big fights continue. It's one of these really weird things, but they all just benefit from it to the point where they don't want to change it.
Heartbreaking for Jack Catterall, though, isn't it, really?
Do you know what? I don't think it will be, and I'll tell you why. He'll get the call from Bob Arum, and Bob will say, look, boxing is a business, but we'll give you a Ramirez fight if you want it. Here's a 7-figure purse if you want to fight Ramirez. Yeah? Because you did well enough that you deserve to be on that stage. We'll let you fight Ramirez. We'll let you fight Prograis. I can see something like that happening for Jack Catterall.
Do you think the belts all get fragmented now, Terry?
Well, Taylor's going to vacate, and I'd like to see Catterall fight for one of the belts. I think he's earned the right to do that.
What did you think to Ben Davidson celebrating in ring and that after? Do you think that was in bad taste?
Thought it was embarrassing. I thought for a guy who proved to be incompetent under pressure, I don't know if he was celebrating the win or celebrating the fact that Porky wasn't going to rinse him for another defeat.
I'm looking at it as a defeat. They've had it off, haven't they? Last night, they've had
I thought the corner work was terrible. Why Ben Davison couldn't figure out that maybe Josh Taylor wants to go around in a circle instead of walking in straight lines? How he didn't realize that, I don't know. For all the people who laughed at Tunde Ajayi for Lions in the camp, I want that same energy for when Ben Davison was screaming out champion mindset. What the hell does that even mean?
Champion mindset.
Didn't you hear him saying that towards the end of the fight?
Saying something. He was whipping crowd up, wasn't he? Every round he kept turning around and going like Steven Gerrard when they played in Istanbul in final.
Yeah.
You know, for the European Cup thing. And he was like going like that, wanted to whip him up into a frenzy, which they don't need a lot, do they, up there? They've had a lot to drink. Do you know what I mean? But they had to do something, didn't they, to cheer and drown, get into judges' heads. I don't know. Look, them judges are either incompetent or the bend. It's one or the other, isn't it?
I think it's both. I genuinely think that. I think sometimes when you're incompetent, the way you keep your job is by doing as you're told. So I think it's both. I think that the administration of British boxing is rotten to the core. I was going to say you wouldn't get this with football, but FIFA's got its own problems, mate. As to the IAAF. All of these guys are, because as you say, Porky, they love the free gratis, as you would say.
Free gratis, that's what they're on now. 20 grand a week getting spent in expenses by the Board of Control on just travel, hotels, and free gratis meals and everything. They don't pay any tax on any money that they take in. So all expenses, that's how they're getting away with it. And they've got good lives. Very, very, very good lives they have got. All right. They travel everywhere, business class. It's free fucking gratis and it's got to stop. We need somebody to come in and rip it all up. But these laminate holders, I mean, Stevie Bull's come out and spoke out today on Twitter. Good luck to him. And I'm proud of him, actually.
How can he? No, wait. How can he when his fighter meant that Natasha Jonas didn't get what she deserved?
Yeah, I see where he's coming from with that. I see where he's coming from, but he likes to jump on the moment, doesn't he? He's had a bit of a pop at Ben Davison on Twitter as well. Ben Davison digs himself in an hole, doesn't he, though?
Well, it wasn't even that. There are a number of things we need to hold Ben accountable for, right? What happens in the ring, I hold Josh Taylor accountable for. What happens up until that first bell, I hold Ben Davison accountable for. The fact that Josh Taylor didn't look good at the weight, that's Ben Davison's accountability. The fact that there was no fight plan that made sense is Ben Davison's accountability. The fact that Ben Davison couldn't make any changes to Josh Taylor in that fight is Ben Davison's accountability. The fact that Josh Taylor had to go back to his McGuigan style when he realized Ben didn't know what the hell he was doing, that's Ben Davison's fault.
What about when Maxie Hughes gave him a good idea in sparring a few weeks ago? That's Ben Davison's fault.
But I don't mind that. If you want to take a hiding, I'd rather you took it in sparring. As long as it doesn't happen on fight night. The problem was it seems to have happened on fight night. Because you don't have to have studied Cattrall in depth to know what Jack's going to do. Jack's not going to commit. If you notice, he never has his weight on his front foot when he's boxing. He reminds me of, do you remember that who was the youngest Fury brother who boxed for a bit and then didn't box?
Huey.
Yeah, but not Huey.
Not Huey Peter's son, John's son, Huey with glasses.
Yeah, and he had that kind of awkward style as well, where they don't commit their weight forward. And all Josh kept doing was just rushing forward. And part of me was just like, Ben just has to tell Josh, you don't have to go forward. Just take a step back and let Cattrall come to you. But every time Josh stepped forward, Cattrall was hitting him. So Josh is walking into the shots and Ben's not making the adjustments.
Yeah, I agree. I'll just read this out to you, Terry. CompuBox. Taylor threw 255 punches. Cattrall threw 102 punches more. Taylor landed 85. Cattrall doubled that. He landed 166. Cattrall's success 46%. Taylor's 33%. So what were the judges watching?
And I'm not buying this thing of Taylor was the guy always coming forward. No, Taylor was the guy getting his head punched in. That's all that matters in this game. Yeah, you're getting your head punched in. Cattrall was I don't even think what they did was sophisticated. Jack Cattrall just said, look, if you want to walk forward in straight lines, fine, but there's going to be no target for you. So good luck.
Beat him up. Cattrall beat him up.
Yeah.
He beat the guy up. He's in front of our eyeballs. Everybody saw it in the whole wide world, except these 3 judges. And it's the same old judge, even though one judge had it for Cattrall by a point, he would have gone the other way if he had that point took off. But the other 2 judges were shocking. Howard Foster's shocking. He should. Look, they're all shocking, man. But it's the same old people we're talking about, aren't we? All the time.
Do you know the sad thing was, Porky? Well, by halfway through round 10, there were just tweets going out. Cattrall's going to get robbed. They're going to job Cattrall. Even I said, right, look out for the fix. The fix is in now.
Yeah.
When boxing fans are doing that, it's the most humiliating thing for a sport. It's basically the fans saying the sport's a joke.
It's become a joke now. We've got men 20 stone with tits covered in tarts, like the titty man, with green hair, getting in the ring at 20 clementines. What the fucking hell am I watching? The fuck? Fucking boxing's booming. Listen, I heard a little whisper out that, you know, when Adam Smith goes to shows, he walks by certain parts of the crowd and they all shout, "Beep!" You know, to be.
Yeah.
Now, what I'm telling people now, and I told them in my video earlier, when Robert Smith walks by, or Ian John Lewis, throw a drink on them. Drench them in your lager. And if you film it, I'll give you 50 quid. How's about that? 50 spot in your bank. For anybody that drowns them fuckers, obviously I don't want fucking to get drowned every week, I'll be peppermint. The first one that does it gets a 50 quid and a free Porky Teddy because we've got loads left.
Mate, just look, right? Formula One, the guy screws up, loses his job. Right? They got rid of him. They said, mate, you're making the sport look bad. You've got to go. You're telling me no one can say to Ian John Lewis, mate, you're a liability at this point. You got to sit it out for a few years, man. Sit it out and reflect on your behavior. Because here's the worst part of it. You can't say, oh yeah, give Jack a rematch. Doesn't matter. Jack's not going to have the surprise factor he had in this fight. He's not going to be able to shock Taylor the way he did. And also, because of the way Cattrall fought, who's going to want to fight him now? He's got no belt, nothing. Who's going to want to fight Jack Cattrall?
He's in no man's land, isn't he?
Someone has to make it right for him. I hope Bob Arum does make it right for him by giving him a reasonable fight to say, look, we know what happened, but we need Josh Taylor for leverage, so we had to keep the belts on him. Because that's what happened, right? They need him for leverage because there's no money fight for Josh Taylor at the moment. If Josh goes to 147, the PBC guys ain't going to want to work with him. Bob doesn't really control Crawford. So the way you do that is by going, I'm the super champion now, which makes me mandatory for Terence Crawford.
Yeah.
And that's how you get Crawford back on top rank.
Yeah. I just think it just leaves a really sad, sour taste in my mouth, because when you've been around the sport and you see what they have to go through, these lads, people in boxing, to get to that level. He's waited a long time for that title shot. You know, this is on the big, it doesn't get any bigger in Scotland, away fighter, big arena, undisputed. It's a historical fight, both undefeated. It's like a great fight, and he's had his moment took away from him on the biggest stage of all. I mean, fights like that are like Ali Fraser, both undefeated, undisputed on the big stage. This is on the biggest stage, and British boxing really fucking showed what we are. We're a bunch of fucking nutters, aren't we? What are we? What other country's going to think looking at that, Terry?
Well, Germany's going to think, hold my beer.
We're the new Germany, aren't we now?
Yeah, it's it's embarrassing. You're looking at that, like Terence Crawford wasn't happy. A lot of guys weren't happy. Now you're going, well, what reason was an American got to come over here? Would Tony Yoka come over here to fight Joe Joyce? Would he? Anytime I see Ian John Lewis and Howard Foster on the same card, I know the fix is it. Like, do you know what they remind me of, Porky? They're like Tom Hagen in The Godfather, right? You know when Tom Hagen shows up, there's a mess that needs clearing up.
Is that Robert Duvall?
Yeah.
He's consigliere, isn't he, to Michael Corleone?
Yeah, and that's what Ian John Lewis is. Like, it's like, look, Ian, we need to make sure Josh Taylor leaves the building with that belt. And he's like, yeah, okay, no problem, mate. I'll do that. And that's what you do. Like, you get the good fights when you're eager to please, right? So when you're eager to please, you go, right, Josh Taylor has to win. And people just find a way to make that happen.
Okay. Now, the undercard, Terry.
Bye-bye.
If you take the top fight away, it's no better than what Josh Wale, Dennis Hobson and Steffi Bull put on, is it? If you take Taylor Cattrall off it and go down the other 10 fights, I mean, some of them are shocking. Shocking. It's
So I didn't see much of the undercard. I'm not going to lie, mate. I didn't see much of it. So who did I miss?
Well, I'll read them out to you. Fawaz, 1-0, fought a guy called Varda, 1-1. Walker debut against Heredil, 1-2. Molly debut against Esquiabel, 4-7. McCowan, 5-0 against Gomez, 8-5-1.
Oh, Jesus.
So some debut here, another one 1-0, another one 1-1, a 4-0, an 8-1.
This is like a Sam Kinnock card, right?
Yeah, but basically, it's
the sort of card you'd expect Hannah Rankin to be headlining.
Yeah. Well, they had kids on there, didn't they? I think that Kinnock had a couple on there. So,
Kelvin Fawaz, I'll give him a bit of a squeeze. I'll tell you why. Like, he's just had a hard life in boxing. So I don't mind seeing him on TV for a bit. Let him have a little bit of limelight, and then he'll go back to the salsa dancing.
He all came on first, 1-0.
Yeah.
Some of these, though, I mean, the home lot added up to 55-2. This is Sky, supposed to be a flagship. 11 fights, and they're adding up to 55-2. You're right, the cupboards are bare, aren't they now? So maybe I might have been harsh on Dennis and Steffi Bull and Josh Wales shows. The cupboards are bare, aren't they? If that's what Sky putting on, because that's no better than what Josh has just put on overnight.
What's Hearn putting on tonight?
Coley's on tonight, isn't he?
Yeah, who's on the undercard of that?
I don't know. I haven't been over it yet. I will later.
Yeah, people aren't really that excited.
I'm not that excited about Sundays anyway, because you've had enough after Saturday, haven't you? But I know Aaron's got a DAZN card on tonight. But I'll probably watch it and cover it tomorrow. But I'm not that excited about DAZN. No, I'm not. I was excited about this show because two undefeated kids, an English kid and a Scotsman, fighting in Scotland, undisputed, all the belts on the line. Historical moment in British boxing. And then the wheel the judges out. And when I looked who the judges were, I thought, fucking hellfire. Surely they're not going to fuck this up. But they fucked it up, didn't they? You know? I seen it, I thought, now. I thought, shall I put a quick video out here? See what cool judges are. I thought, no, we'll wait. Surely they can't mess this up. Messed it up. Listen, Robert Smith didn't even do an interview, did he? He was walking by them all, wasn't he? I've been told. So
hey, but here's what you got to say now. You got to take some of your words back about Johnny Nelson, because he was not company man last night.
Johnny Nelson had no choice, did he? Because Jamie Moore's his mate. He had to go into bat for Jamie Moore, didn't he?
No, but he was saying that before Jamie Moore showed up.
What he?
Yeah. Mate, the way he slaughtered McFarlane and Nick Campbell, I thought he went backstage to get some gloves and go, I'll show these kids what it's like to be a heavyweight.
White collar, that, wasn't it? I mean, I'd expect Max to fight somebody at that level, you know, Jay McFarlane. Max will punch fucking holes in you.
Oh, man.
Big Max and him, 40 Clem in the ring. That'd be a good one, wouldn't it? Swinging some leather. That'd be good, wouldn't it? Max against Jay McFarlane. Max, we'll dye your hair red. McFarlane will probably have his orange then, or blue or something. It'd be a right shit feast, wouldn't it, for fans? Is this where we're heading now? Green hair and overweight blubby man, titty man, the titty man in the what? Professional boxers shouldn't look like that, should they?
You know what? He's that big and he hasn't even got a gold chain around his neck. What sort of big man is he?
Fucking got one like that bastard, has he, kid? You know that. But
hey, but I've got to pull your mate up on something though.
Oh.
I didn't agree with what Carl Froch said.
What did he say?
Because he said, you know, you can't go into survival mode for the last part of the fight and expect to win. And I was
you can't, can you? You've got to put your foot on. What he's trying to say, Carl, there is put your foot on the gas in the championship rounds. No matter if you're winning the fight comfortably or not, put your foot down. Put your foot to the floor late on in fight. And that's what he always did, didn't he?
Yeah, is that what he said the other day?
No, I've heard him say it many times. I know what you're on about. He said something on Twitter, but he always believes that you should finish strong. Like his exact words are, I always like to finish like a steam train, Russ. That's what he always used to say. And it's true. He always finishes like a steam train. Catterall didn't, but he was too far ahead anyway. He shouldn't have even...
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, he was
too far ahead. He didn't need to finish like that, did he? So, I don't know.
Plus the deductions. I
don't know, mate. It just leaves a bad taste in my mouth. I've signed the petition for Jack Catterall to be. There's a petition going around, everybody. Get it signed. And people need to email Robert Smith at the Boxing Board of Control, although they'll never get back to you. But something needs to be done. We need to petition Simon Jordan on TalkSport to get somebody with some money to take control of the situation, because the sport is in disarray. Disarray. It's shocking. It's going downhill. I mean, I don't like to bring this up because I've already covered this once with Max. And I said to Max the other day, people like you are what's wrong with sport, Max. Goes and gets a Lithuanian license, has a medical over here, and then he's a pro boxer now. Max will end up on the slab if he takes the wrong turning, won't he, and fights somebody like Fraser Clark. He could end up on the slab, couldn't he? All right.
Max, I saw a video clip of the fight. It was heartbreaking. I said, "Is this what boxing is now?" And I don't know what Max is. Max is probably a nice person and all of that.
Nice guy, Max. I like him. He's loyal.
But and I tweeted this yesterday. There has to be a minimum threshold, right? You have to be able to separate boxers from mere mortals. There should have to be something special about you to call yourself a boxer.
Look, we all know how many people have come from white collar in the last 18 months, don't we, and turned over. There's over 70.
Well, because you've told us.
Well, there's over 70 people from white collar that have turned pro. How many of them 70 are going to win a belt? Well, so far, not one's won a British title. So let's judge it in a few years. Let's judge it in, say, 2 more years, when we've had 100 people come from white collar and still not won a British title. So where's the sport going? I don't know. But the same people that are complaining on social media, they're also part of the problem. It needs ripping up and starting again. And this should be the moment where we say, as fans, enough is enough. How much more can we take of this?
You know the sad part of it, Russ?
What?
In about 2 weeks, we'll be on to the next thing.
Yeah, we'll be on about Terry O'Connor, who's done something, or Dan Raphael's been and crushed another chair or something. I don't know. Did you see Dan Raphael? He fell over, didn't he?
Did he? Is he bigger than Jay McFarlane, I wonder?
He's as big as I was 10 years ago. Well, he sat down on the chair and it collapsed, didn't it? And he, all you saw him getting up was a fleece. He couldn't get up. Then you seen that fleece that he wears, you know, that light brown fleece jacket.
Yeah.
XXXXXXL, what the hell? Well, you saw him rise like a phoenix.
Mate, you
What
look, you,
about-
you look, you look, you look happy with that one.
Yeah, I like that. I don't like fucking Dan Raphael. He always used to give Frocton a hard time. The
I wouldn't know what
guy.
that's like.
Yeah, you're always giving him a hard time. When he sees you, he's going to dust you. Do you know the Gareth A. Davis, Terry?
Yeah.
He were
Gad.
asked about it, the Gad. And he's not had anything to say about the judging last night, which is very rare for Gareth A. Davis, isn't it? But what would have happened if it was Catterall the champion and Taylor the challenger in Scotland, and them scorecards had got read out? There would have been a riot, wouldn't there?
Yep.
There would have been a riot. 10,000 Scots running about with Karen McEwen's in their hand. There'd been problems, wouldn't there? They would have ripped the roof off. But in my opinion, Taylor lost by, you'd have to say 5 rounds, wouldn't you? You'd say 5 rounds, Terry, wouldn't you? Easily.
No. Do you know what? I'll be honest with you. The only 3 scores that I can give weight to at the moment are, and this is me in order of likelihood, right? 7-5 Catterall, 8-4 Catterall, 6-all draw. They're the only, and for me, I'm somewhere between 7-5 and 8-4.
Somewhere between 7-5 and 8-4.
Yeah, so I lean more towards the 7-5, but I can understand an 8-4 as well for Catterall. I genuinely can.
So if you're saying 8-4, right? Spencer Oliver had it by 5 rounds. So he's got it by 5, same as me. But yeah, Ian John Lewis has got it other way. So how can it be 8 rounds out in a 12-round fight? What are they watching? And more importantly, what are they smoking?
Mate, they're watching out for the signal. You know that. You get the signal that, look, you got to do what's right for business.
They're smoking some serious shit. And I want some of it. I just think it's in bad taste. And what about Catterall's family? They're going to be devastated for him, aren't they, poor kid?
He'll never be the same fighter again.
No, he won't. It won't mentally. It'll just damage him, won't it? I hope it doesn't, like, but
yeah, I hope he doesn't do a Scott Fitzgerald on us.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. He'll end up. I don't think he'll do a Scott Fitzgerald. But I think he'll end up popular now. Jack Catterall, the man that got robbed in and undisputed. It wasn't just like for a WBO intercontinental or. It was for all the marbles, all of them. All 4 belts. You don't get any better. Undisputed, 2 undefeated kids, a Brit and a Scot. Sorry, an English kid and a Scottish kid. In Scotland. The scene was set. And they fucked it up. The judges. Robert Smith, self-appointed man who doesn't answer to anybody and doesn't let his judges and referees, officials come out and answer to any criticism. What fucking sport are we in? If this were football or motor racing, heads would roll. So why do we as boxing fans have to put up with this shit from these shithousers? Can't get it out of my head. I can't get it out of my head, but come tomorrow, it'll all be gone and everybody will be back to normal, won't they, Terry?
Yeah, we'll be talking about Canelo versus Bivol and all that sort of nonsense.
I know, we'll move on to that now. Canelo's going to fight Bivol, and then John Ryder or Golovkin, who's 41. Why is he not fighting a Coley for Cruiserweight Championship? Because they were flirting with that belt other week when it was Little Macabre. I don't hear a Coley mentioned, and I don't hear Beta Beef mentioned. Why is that, Terry? Because they're hard fights.
Right. Here's what I'm going to stick up for Canelo, right? For a guy who's really top of the tree, no one's been more active in the last 2 and a bit years than Canelo, right? No one has.
No.
And at the time when we complain about fighters being active, at least Canelo's delivered on that front. I don't mind him taking a couple of easier fights, right? Just take that easy DAZN money off Hearn. Once you've done those 2 or 3 fights, then fight Charlo, then fight Benavidez, then fight all these guys at Beterbiev and Maccabi, then retire. But get the easy money first, because I think the Charlo fight and the Benavides fight will be harder for him than Bivol and Golovkin, if I'm being honest with you.
Yeah. I've just been told there's a late surge of votes for Ian John Lewis for helmets.
Yeah, but he...
Fucking hell. I'm gonna have to fucking redo it all now. We're all ready to film it tomorrow now. I'm gonna have to fucking go through it all again now. Fucking hell.
I think you only need one. You don't even need to do a countdown. It's just like, listen, number one's Ian John Lewis.
Should we just
10 times as many votes as everyone else.
It looks like Ian John Lewis might be overtaking Flex. Fucking hell, fire, eh? I'll be getting.
Oh, for drinking the sweat.
For drinking the sweat, yeah. For Flex, we're in the lead, but looks like fucking more votes. The votes are coming in here. The fucking hell, another one. Ian John Lewis, Porkies, the deadline over yet? No, deadline's tomorrow. Is it last day of February tomorrow, isn't it?
Yeah.
I can have to do it all again now. Yes, it's right. Bivol and Canelo. That's an easy one for Canelo, isn't it?
I think so, man. Like Craig Richards made Bivol look mortal, and like Canelo's no Craig Richards.
So
the Golovkin fight, like I said, Golovkin's old now, man. He's just old.
41 in it now.
Oh yeah, 40 or 41. Yeah.
Well, 40, is he 40 in April? He's 40. He's been his 41st year in September. So he's an old man, inactive. B2B must be 37 now. What, they're waiting while he gets to 40 as well?
Probably.
Why don't they shout?
But also, but Russ, no, but Russ, also remember, Canelo's had what, 18 more fights than Golovkin?
Yeah,
you got.
No, but Canelo had a lot. He's been active since he was 15 now, hasn't he, as a pro?
Yeah. So we got to give him credit and say, look, if Canelo's had what, 60 fights in his career, he's allowed to have one or two where he lets the body heal up when the camp's not as intense. I understand that. You want to manage his body.
Yeah. What do you think to Anthony Joshua and Usyk? People are saying that it looks like it's over now. So, Kev, I'm just filming at factory. See you in a bit, yeah. Yeah, go on.
Oh, well, you didn't finish your question.
Sorry, go on now. Oh, what we're on about? Oh, Big Meech.
Femi.
Big Meech and Big Meech, aka Larry Hoover, Frank Lucas. I'm from their neck of I'm from their clop or something. He said, didn't he? Nicky Barnes. That was it. Nicky Barnes was one of them. Money. All big anyway. Good crack dealers, aren't they? I don't look up to Michael Jordan and LeBron James. I look up to Larry Hoover, Big Meech, and Nicky Barnes.
Rayful Edmond.
Rayful Edmonds, yeah. And Harry O.
Didn't he also say Porky Russ?
Yeah. I was only a small time one. I was small time. I wasn't in daily. I was small. But no, Joshua, it looks to me like he's gone all around the world trying all these trainers out. They're trying to get a step aside. He'd already put the fight back a long time to fight Usyk because he knew it were coming, didn't he? And eventually he thought he got beat. Now it looks like he's doing everything he can not to fight him. They've activated it October 8th. We're March, aren't we, in 2 days? So 5 months later, they've still not got a date. He don't want to fight Usyk. You know that, don't you? They're doing anything they can, hoping for some sort of break in the chain. So, and they might have it now with this war because he's gone home, hasn't he, Usyk? So he might have wriggled out of it. Do you think he has?
No, I think they're trying to buy themselves some time, right? Now, the trainer thing is a bit of a strange one because, mate, just make your fucking mind up, right? That's what I say. Just make your mind up. You know who all the trainers are out there. You probably tried out all the ones who are likely. I'm guessing what they said was, you got to come here and you got to train on like our terms. And Femi was like, nah. So now he's working out with Angel Fernandez, which, I mean, I guess it's like training with Ben Davison, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you love that now. Now that tastes differently for you.
You know that guy who he's always got with him, Barry the Bacon? What's his story? Fat guy, isn't he? Does he just carry a spit bucket?
No, so Barry Smith was a guy, and I know he trained a lot of guys from Mickey Elliott back in the day. Not a great trainer, not just a big guy that you used to see around, really.
Yeah.
And I guess he was like, "I'll do anything for you, Ben Davison." And Ben was like, "Okay." And Ben's built his little tribe of merry men, and they're trying to train people, and it doesn't seem to be working too well. And that worries me because one of my mates, Jamie Shakiva's in that camp. And so I'm worried about what he'll be learning over there.
Do you feel, Terry, that Fury left then, Billy Joe left him? Do you feel that Josh Taylor leaves him now and that Ben can have his hat trick?
I think Josh has to, because he's, how can I put it? Josh Taylor's beating people because he's better than them. It's not because he's got a good trainer by his side. He hasn't. And Ben Davison was kind of living off the good work the McGuigans had done with Josh. And he was trying to kind of take that to another level. But now we've realized when it's Ben's ship to run, there's nothing there, man. His cupboard's empty as well.
Do you feel that fighters nowadays, Terry, are not like we've had in the past? I mean, some of the matchups I'm seeing now, we're getting like pay-per-views, aren't we? Brooke Khan, we've had Chisora, Usyk, we've had Dylan White, Parker, Dylan White against Povetkin twice, and there's no title, the one common denominator, there's no world title on any of these pay-per-views. Now they're talking about Brooke Eubank pay-per-view, but that won't have a world title. Is it now about creating something on social media, these characters, or getting to be popular? Is that the way forward to getting the pay-per-view? But whatever happened to going the ranking route, the mandatory, and getting a belt? Has that all gone now? And are we in the age of let's just be famous and that's pay-per-view? Do you think?
So I think it's definitely moved towards events, right? That's what. So Khan Brook was an event. None of their careers are really going to go forward after that fight, but it was an event. It was set in the rivalry. You could build a story around that. That's what they're looking for.
Yeah.
Right. And because you can sell more pay-per-views when people are emotionally invested in the story, essentially. So they don't have to be for world titles. And Russ, how many times have we complained how corrupt the sanctioning bodies are anyway?
Wow.
Yeah, so do you care that much about the belts?
I don't really care for belt. I just want to see a fight. We know who's who. Look, all this about roads to undisputed for Joshua and Fury and all that. Look, Fury's the man at heavyweight. Right? Wilder's number 2. And then it's debatable who the rest of them are. But Joshua's not the man. And he never was the man for me. And he's in that program, isn't he now? The 12 most fraudulent athletes that had everybody fooled. So I forgot which thingy it's on now, but he's in that 12 now, in some magazine or something. And
the 12 biggest frauds.
12 what?
Did you say the 12 biggest frauds in sport? Something
like that in sport, yeah, don't really add fans up. He's one of them. It's a famous guy who has done it. Somebody sent me over there. I'll try and find it. If anybody's got it, let me know. I've got it on my phone somewhere. Or he's one of the 12 most fraudulent, who had everybody fooled. So we know he isn't the best. He's had all the money. He's had all the money off, hasn't he? Well, when you're going back to your corner and you're saying, what do I do now in a fight? And you're world champion, Olympic gold, and you say, what do I do? There's something wrong, isn't there? You don't know your job, do you?
Throwback fighter.
Hey?
Throwback fighter, TBF.
I'm a throwback fighter, yeah, on therapeutic exemption certificates for steroids. We all know the Anthony Joshua story, don't we? And like I said, they've milked it to death and they've overkilled it. And eventually, everybody got tired of it, like they got tired of Eddie Hearn. And like they're going to get tired at British Boxing Board of Control, because it's the boxing board of no control, isn't it? They're not controlling anything whatsoever, are they? What do they control? It's a bit like Perry the Promise. How, isn't it? What is he promising us? He's promising us fuck all. But he gets his sent out there, doesn't he, on social media? So if it makes him feel good, great. But getting back to Robert Smith and Boxing Board of Control, they're not controlling now, mate. All they're doing is teching. They're teching and teching and teching, and we're all fed up of it now. And that last night done me head in. I don't know, it's just done me head in, mate. It's just, I can't function properly today, Terry.
No, it's soul destroying, because in the back of your mind, you know what this means. You know that this means that Jack Catterall goes back to the backwoods of boxing, and like you might see him on an MTK show or a Frank show, but he won't ever get that chance to be the pay-per-view guy. He will never get that chance. He won't get that chance to be the main man at a big event. He's never going to get that. And he won't be able to mingle with guys like Andre Ward and be like, yeah, I was undisputed. He won't be able to do that because of these judges.
Yeah, I agree. And I feel for him. I really, really, really feel for him. But Andre Ward had Taylor winning.
Well, but so did Froch.
Did Carl Froch have Josh Taylor winning? Did he?
Well, if he's criticising Catterall, then he must have done, right?
I don't know. I haven't seen that. I know he said that you've got to finish strong, and you can't, finish like.
Do you want me to text him and find out?
You haven't got his number.
You know I've got his number.
You haven't.
07973. Do you want me to go on?
Don't be putting the man's fucking number on here, you prick. What's the matter with you? You can't be doing that.
Well, there's still 6 digits to go, right?
Don't be putting the man's number on here. I don't know if you got his number. Well, you text him then. But I don't think that. Why are you always trying to dig Froch out, Terry, on here all the time? Why are you doing that? Why do you do it? Can I ask you? Because a few have asked.
Because I have to hold everyone in boxing accountable for what they've done in the sport.
And what Carl's done in sport. Fucking hell, fine, mate. 4-time world champion.
We talk about corruption, yeah? How on earth was he allowed to carry on after that first round against Groves? Corruption at its worst.
Well, he was stood up and he wanted to carry on, and he did carry on, and he had to.
It wasn't safe for him to carry on. He should have been stopped. Like Nigel Benn should have been stopped against McClellan in the first. British boxing is corrupt, Porky. You're right.
He was allowed to carry on because he's the champion, and he was on his feet, wasn't he? And Bell went to end it round, didn't it? In fact, if my memory serves me correct.
Ref should have stopped. Doctor didn't even intervene. No concussion protocol.
They went over. They said, "Are you all right?" He said, "Yeah, I'm okay to continue." He continued. What more do you want?
Yeah, but he couldn't remember doing that.
Yeah, but did he get knocked down again after that? No. It's up to Groves to fucking go fill him in, and he couldn't finish job, could he? He shot his bolt too quick, and he got took into deep waters and drowned.
Should have been stopped in the first round.
Yeah, but when Groves got stopped, Heather, we've been over this a million times, haven't we? Groves were kept in hospital overnight with a concussion, mate. So technically, Howard Foster saved his fucking life, didn't he?
Well, I don't know. Saved Froch's life. George was going to come on strong in the final stretch.
Froch looks all right to me. He sat at home. He's all right. He's not talking like Scooby-Doo. And he's had wars after that. He had another war with Groves after that, didn't he? So
yeah, but look at how good George sounds, man. George survived so well from that his hair grew back.
George had an hair transplant, but what you're forgetting is 17 unanswered punches at end of round 9, and he had a concussion and were kept in fucking hospital. It's going to be in Howard Foster's book. So
mate,
he saved his
17
life,
punches.
Terry.
Wait, 17 punches. What kind of power has Froch got? Yeah, but what kind of power would have been one from you? One Porky punch would have been enough. I'm worried.
You're trying to split hairs all the time, aren't you? Do you know what? You know what you need to do, Terry? You need to look at Froch's CV, mate. He took Groves' though, took Dirrill's though, took Boute's though, took Pascal's though.
So I had this argument on Twitter because they're trying to tell me that Froch's career was better than Khan's, and I was like, no chance in hell that Froch is hooray. Because remember, like I think it was Khan's wife was digging out Froch for being bitter about Amir Khan, and I was like, but Amir Khan achieved far more than Carl Froch in boxing.
Did he?
Yeah.
What, by getting knocked out loads of times?
Hey, listen. Some people have chin, some people don't. Now, how brave a man are you to have a boxing career with a chin like Amir Khan? That's real bottom.
Terry, do you know what? Terry, do you know when you go out in front of 80,000 in a world title fight, right, at Wembley, how he did, beating a kid who took his own and then beat him at rematch? You can't knock that, Terry. How can you knock that?
He fought a British level guy, and we're talking about world title fight. George was British level.
Groves went on to win a world title, didn't he?
Against who?
Chudinov, didn't he?
Oh, what? The Chudinov that ended up fighting Umar Sadiq not too long afterwards. Oh, come on, man.
Terry, listen to me. Was George Groves a world champion, yes or no?
I don't even think he was. Was he regular or super?
George Groves won the world title and lost it to Callum Smith.
Which one, regular or super?
I think it was super.
Is that real?
George Groves was world. He beat James DeGale, didn't he? All right.
That's what I'm saying to you. George is British level. All these fights we're talking about, these are British level fights.
Is James DeGale British level?
At the time he was, yeah, because they fight for the British.
What can you do if Groves is the mandatory? What's Froch supposed to fucking do? Not fight him?
We're not fighting, but let's not make out that it was a big deal. Like Froch's hardest fight was Ward. That was it. That was his crowning moment. The rest of the guys were no better than what Khan faced.
Ed Butter Ward was his pet ref.
Listen, man, Andre Ward schooled him, and Andre Ward was so good.
Come to England to fight him. He didn't fight Boutte, did he?
Who was Boutte, man? Paper bag of a champion.
Fucking hell, you fucking hate it, don't you? Do you think the Cobra gives a fuck about what you think, mate? Right.
Listen, he hasn't slept for 5 days. After you saw me, you told him the truth. He hasn't slept. He keeps messaging me going, look at my CV again. I'm sure you'll find something you like. I'm like, I like the McGee fight. That's it.
Fuck off. You're fucking ball breaker, you tell me, aren't you? Right. Let's move on. Deontay Wilder, is he going to fight again, Terry?
I don't even think he knows, Russ.
No. Do you think he's going around taking drugs and that? Because I'm hearing that he wants to try drugs or something.
Well, ayahuasca. It was a psychedelic, yeah. You've never tried a psychedelic?
No, I'd like to though. I'm up for anything. Me, I'm always taking drugs. They're my best mates. I'm not bothered. Dorian Yates, I saw him in an interview and he was saying that he's into them psychedelics. They're quite popular at the moment, aren't they? You like escape into like little mad worlds and that, don't you?
So what happens now is a lot of people microdose on these psychedelics, right? And they think it helps with mental health and easing anxiety and stuff like that. Yeah. So it's the new area of research. Can we get medicinal benefits from psychedelics? Well, I don't know what the Bronze Bomber will do, Russ. Because think about it, you're Deontay Wilder, right? There's only one other person you ever need to fight in your career. That's AJ, and AJ's shown he doesn't want that fight. Outside of Joshua, who do you want to see Wilder fight? You don't really. There's no one.
I want to see him with AJ. I want to see him put AJ into orbit.
That's the only fight we want to see Wilder in. And if he can't get that fight, I don't think he will do anything else. I remember you and I talked before, and I said to you, the biggest fight for Joshua is not Usyk, it's Wilder, and I can see him taking the Wilder fight over Usyk.
Maybe.
Yeah, wouldn't you? If you're Joshua, you're like, you know what? Forget those belts. Let Fury fight Usyk. Let him win the belts. I'm going to fight Wilder, and then I'm going to fight Fury, and then that's me done in the sport.
I don't even think Joshua cares about them belts now, to be honest. I think he just wants to just doss about with his mates, doesn't he? He don't seem to me like he wants to fight. They don't seem to be breaking the necks to get a date, do they?
Yeah. But it doesn't help him, right? Because inactivity, when you're someone of his size and athleticism, inactivity just ruins you. It's not going to ruin Usyk because Usyk's a good fundamental boxer. You don't lose your fundamentals by inactivity, but you lose that athleticism, that speed and intensity when you're inactive.
Yeah, interesting, isn't it? Interesting. Okie dokie then. Well, listen, we'll just finish off on, does Dylan White fight Fury April 22nd or April 23rd at Wembley? Does it happen, yes or no?
Yes, 100%. Too much money at stake. You know, people need to get their money out the game now. You know, so this is the perfect time to do it.
Are you happy that Eddie Hearn's not involved? Because he seems quite bitter, doesn't he, Terry?
Yeah, I kind of feel for him because he kind of helped build the machine that is Dillian White, but he's also proved himself to be a fucking idiot sometimes. So I can see why he's not involved.
Okie dokie then. Well, listen, we've had 55 minutes. I hope you enjoyed the rest of your day, and I'm going to get this
You too, mate.
out. Thank you for coming on, Terry. It's been a pleasure.
Are we going head to head with the Asylum tonight?
Yeah, we'll let them off. We'll just get this out. We'll let Asylum off tonight. We'll see how they behave this week. See how they behave tonight.
Hey, who's this Michael guy?
Michael who?
The guy that they said did a few videos with you, then he just turned on you.
He came on my channel and said that David A's a drug cheat and he's heard of his sources. So I never had him on again. I gave him a dressing down and I didn't have him on again. He's a young lad. I let him stay at my home. He rung me up. He was over at bus station. He'd stopped rough. He's had a rough night away in Sheffield. He said, I said, if you ever in area, give me a ring. He rung me. I thought, okay, now we're here. I went and picked him up. He said his rucksack was at Dominic Ingall's gym, so he'd have to stay there at night. They said no, but you can leave your rucksack. So I took him for his rucksack. He went in, got his rucksack, come out, and then I took him for something to eat. I took him back to my house. He had a hot shower, and he was given a bedroom for the night, and he stayed in my home. And the next day, I dropped him off where he wanted to be. I think I took him to somewhere in Sheffield. So I don't know, but he won't be coming on my channel because he said that David A's a drug cheat and he's heard of source, and I can't have that on here. Can't have that.
Yeah, you don't want that lawsuit.
David A's friends with people who we know, and one of them said to me, "What's that on your channel?" I went, "Well, it's just his opinion, isn't it?" "Yeah, but you can't be saying that." So I didn't have him on again, and I think he just took it wrong way. But he keeps doing videos about me. He's a nice kid actually, but he's obviously got upset that I don't have him on my channel. But good luck to him. Good luck to him what he does. He's a polite kid. I did swear at him a few times. I don't like swearing and stuff. But you know, he came and stopped at my house and met my kids and everything. And he said he was a virgin. He don't drink. He don't smoke. He don't take anything. And my kid's mum said, "Well, what are you knocking about with Russell for then?" I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't shag women, I don't take drugs, and I'm a vegan. That's what he said. But he was all right, and I felt a bit sorry for him actually. I think he was having tough times at the time. But like I said, I was more than benevolent with him. I liked. Obviously, you've been to my home, and that Rico's been. He stayed at my house and that. And I'm not going to go into other things what went on, but he stayed at my house and that, and he was all right. I found him a bit different. But he's a young lad, isn't he? Trying to make his way. So I ain't got a problem with him whatsoever. But I can't have him coming on the channel and saying that, you know, that David A is a drug cheat, because David A isn't. And David A he was one of the most tested guys in his era, you know, David A. I've heard back of people, he was one of the most tested. Because they wanted to know why he was so quick. He was Twitch fighter and all that, wasn't he? But you know, I can't have that. So he said he didn't want to reveal his sources and blah blah blah, just like I did. I don't reveal my sources, but I'm not accusing people of taking drugs, am I? And he were on my channel, so I couldn't have him on again. And he came from these years, so don't have him on again. But he's got his own channel; he can go and say his own stuff now on his own channel. Good luck to him. So anybody give him a follow. Give him a follow. He's called Michael the Emperor or something. He's a nice young kid. He's a bit mixed up, but he'll find his way eventually. So I ain't got no problem with him. So he's a nice young lad. But he keeps calling me out, doesn't he? So he's doing my job for me, isn't he?
Well, hopefully he is. And make sure he's got that following.
So, but yeah, good luck to him. But do you know why I liked him at first? Because Eddie Hearn ridiculed him on a video. I seen Eddie Hearn ridicule him on a video, and he said, He said he wanted to be a boxer. And then he said, show me what you've got, then do some shadow boxing. And he did some shadow boxing in front of Eddie, and Eddie like kind of like ridiculed him and that. And I didn't like that. And I thought, you know what, I'll let him have a voice. And he used to come on my channel and stick it to Eddie Hearn. And then the other week, I noticed he was sat cozying up to Eddie. So I thought, you know, he's got some front. But yeah, I think he's all right. He's just a mixed up kid. Look, it's boxing, isn't it? You meet all sorts of people, don't you? He might think I'm strange. I mean, I think I fetched him here. He wanted a job here. And I said, look, where are you going to live? And how are you going to get, if you move up here, how are you going to get to Barnsley factory in the morning for 6 o'clock to pack Coca-Cola? If you're going to live in Sheffield, you're going to have to set off. You're going to have to be up at 4. You're not going to get in while 8. You're going to be. It wouldn't have worked, would it? It would have come back on me. Would have made me look bad, wouldn't it? But you know, they say if you want a job, you go on your travels, and he goes right, Jims, and that he's trying to make his way in here. And good luck to him, I say. People give him a hard time, don't they? But he's a young lad, isn't he?
Yeah, you got to give a kid a chance.
Now listen, he must have some massive nuts on him. 31-year-old who's not emptied them. He must need a wheelbarrow to carry them about. But I think we had a conversation. We said, do you take drugs? I went, why? They're bad for you and all that. This is a long time.
Oh, did he start preaching?
Yeah, when I was taking him about 120 down M18 in my Merc. Out my tree. Like I did Ed Robinson. I told you about that story. I know we had Robinson.
Yeah.
When I took him, I had a Renault Laguna at the time because my kids had just been born. So we're trying to get one of them prams. So one of them cars that would take the twin buggy. And Mondeo Estate won't do it. So I bought this Renault Laguna. I get a fortune for it. It was mint. And it remapped and that. It was really quick, 2.2 diesel. So me and Ed Robinson were in Hilltop Hotel. He's a whiskey drinker, isn't he, Ed? So we're down in drinks. I says, come on, then I'll take him back to Hilton. I'm staying at Hilton with Skylot. Gets him on motorway, 120. He went, God, imagine if he crashed now. Could you imagine headlines? I'd lose my job, Porky. I was just laughing away. You know what I'm like? I'm easy go lucky, aren't I? My driving skills leave a lot to be desired, though, don't they, Terry? You've been with me, haven't you?
No, you're all right, mate.
But yeah, Ed Robinson's all right. He's one of your boys, isn't he? Fitzroy Lodge.
Yeah. You know.
He likes his training, Ed, and that. He likes to do a bit of training and that. Good bloke, Ed Robinson, good boxing bloke. But if he's still at Sky, you need to look at these undercars. But like you've just said, the cupboards are bare, aren't they now? Very, very bare.
That's the problem, man. You're having to create your own talent now. It's not a good look. No,
it's not a good look. Right. Well, listen, all the best. Mate. Thank you for coming on, Terry.
No worries, mate.
Keep in touch.
Enjoy the rest of your day. Always. Right.
Cheers, mate.
Take care, Paul.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, that was Terry Chappendama, a banker from London, originally Zimbabwe, I think. Good bloke. I hope you all enjoyed the video with Terry. It's Sunday, 2 o'clock. So I'm going to get this out straight away before 3 o'clock. Then I'm going to go to my mates. And I'm going to have a glass of wine. And the chat with my pal. So that's about it, really, because it's Sunday today and the week is over. I've got Julian coming on tomorrow at some point, and that'll be the last video of the month tomorrow with Julian. And I think you've probably had an extra 10 this month, so we worked out this month. So thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed it. Robert Smith, you're a fucking shithouse. Get all them A-star referees sacked and get some new ones in. Shithouse cunt. Peace out.